Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first episode of Hisui's route in Tsukihime, where we will hopefully be starting Hisui's route. And I shouldn't have too much of an issue. There's you kind of have to choose certain choices to make sure that you have a higher regard with Hisui than with Akiha, which shouldn't be a problem. And you also have to get a specific thing, a specific flag. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I don't forget that flag. So yeah, hopefully I'm not an idiot and do things as I should. But well, let's just get into it. Yeah, and again, like the last 3 routes at this point, I will be skipping the scenes that we've already read through. So if it gives me the option to skip a scene, I will do so. And on this one, we want to ignore the sound. Skip. We want to eat lunch in class. Skip. You're going quite fast there, game. Skip. Let's see. This one is... we want to return to the mansion. Yeah. We want to go back to the mansion. Yeah. Yes. It's a cheerful girl. That was weird that the text was displaying so quickly. Yeah. New scene. The first new scene for Hisui's route. I'm slightly nervous. Don't know why. I guess nervous isn't the right word, really. Maybe a bit anxious because I'm really happy. I wanted to reread Hisui's route immediately after I read it, and same thing with Kohaku. And I'm so excited to be able to do that again. I really am. Akiha isn't the only person I haven't seen since then. I can't remember all of the details because it's been 8 years, but there were other children at the mansion around the same age as me. I don't remember their names, but there were 2 girls who were twins. Father has once said that they didn't have any relatives, so he took them to work as servants. That's weird. We played together so often when we were small, but I can't remember their names. I closed my eyes and cast my mind back. I should be able to remember. She was a girl who was always cheerful, so cheerful that you would become cheerful just by looking at her. A girl with a carefree personality who was loved by everyone at the mansion. Because she was close to my age, I got along very well with her, and it seemed like every day we would run around the garden together. "Let's play together, Shiki-san." She would say that, and I could remember her taking me out of my room after I secluded myself inside. I apologize. I don't think I can do a little girl's voice. I apologize. That is a failing on my part. I might practice not recording. I can do a little boy's probably more or less. But I haven't tried that in a long time either. But I know I can't do a little girl's voice without, trying, without practicing at least quite a bit. So I will attempt to do that, and hopefully something might come of it. If not, then oh well. Maybe she was older than both of us. She would guide me and Akiha to play together, but once we started playing, she would just watch over us. Even Akiha's tutor, the harsh butler, would say, "I don't mind as long as Bill is with you guys," and let Akiha out to play as if there was no helping it. In contrast to that girl was the other one. On the second floor, while we played in the garden, there was always a girl looking down at us every time I turned to look at the mansion. She was the twin of that cheerful girl, but she would always gaze at us expressionlessly. That girl would never try to leave the house. All she would do was watch us with those cold eyes. Well, in the end, I only ended up talking talking a little with her. I wonder if those girls are still at the mansion. While I think about that, I take a ribbon out of my bag, a white ribbon out of my bag, an old white ribbon that this girl gave me at the very end. 8 years ago, after I was involved in the accident, the day I was entrusted to the Arima family, right before I was to leave the mansion, the girl gave me this for some reason. I'm just lending it to you, so be sure to return it. Saying something along those lines, she ran off. Afterwards, I was quickly found by one of the servants and taken to the front entrance. With no one to see me off, I walked out of the gates of that giant mansion while the Arima lady held my hand. It was my last memory of when I left the Tono mansion 8 years ago. Sigh. I put the ribbon back in my bag. But it's been 8 years after all. Not only do I not know if they are still at the mansion, I can't even remember their names. To make things worse, I can't even remember which girl gave me the ribbon. Still, it's not like it was some important promise or anything. Yeah, sure, it's not fucking Chekhov's gun over there. I kid. I just like making fun of stuff like that, especially because, well, just maybe remember the Chekhov from Archer. I should watch that show more. I haven't seen the last, 4 seasons or some shit. Great show. But I want to keep that promise as long as I still remember it. I agreed to return to the mansion because Akiha is now there all by herself. I left her there for 8 years, pushing all responsibility onto her while I selfishly lived freely. I am going back because I feel guilty for what I did to her. I didn't exactly plan to use this mansion as an opportunity to do so, but if that girl is still at the mansion, I want to properly fulfill the promise from 8 years ago. You know, just as a storytelling trope, anytime in any story, and there are exceptions to this, and it's usually on purpose, anytime somebody says, well, there wasn't an important blah, or like this, and it's an important promise, or well, it wasn't an important event, or that wasn't an important gift, or that wasn't an important person I met, no, that's always wrong. It's a literary trope, and I don't remember the name of it other than, Chekhov's gun. But it's a literary trope, and it's one that the more I write and the more I think about writing and the more I try writing things, especially with writing tabletop campaigns, and you kind of need to put stuff in like that, or at least I do, to make it interesting, because it always makes me happy when the players go, oh my god, that thing that was important. I'm rambling about that. This isn't the game for that, too much rambling, but it's really noticeable, and it's something that I've just, again, over the years, I pick up on more and more and more, and it's always fun to think about, and it's also always even more fun to me whenever there's something like, well, that seems like it's going to be that's fucking obvious foreshadowing there, and it turns out not to be, that it was just a weird coincidence. I love it. I love that a lot. Anyway, I'm done rambling for now. It's huge. Sounds familiar. I think Akiha said that before. The words escape my mouth when I reach the gate. If you don't like dirty jokes, I'm sorry. I'm not the person that you should be watching in that case. For someone like me, used to living in a normal house, the Tono mansion seems well out of reality. I wonder if I rushed into this. No, it's too late to start regretting things now. The gates aren't locked. I push them open and head towards the mansion doors. Just realized with all the scene skippings we're doing, we pretty much don't have to deal with Inui anymore, which is great because I think I mentioned this. The more I read through this, the more I don't like his character. The more annoying I find him. Oh well. They tower oppressively, bearing down on any visitors. Beside the iron double doors is an unmatching doorbell. All right. Shaking off my nervousness, I press it. There isn't any affectionate ding-dong chime from the doorbell. The oppressive silence continues for a few seconds. Then, the sound of pattering footsteps behind the door indicates someone's presence. "We have been waiting for you." The door opens with a creak. Inside is the lobby I remember, and a young girl in an apron. "Thank goodness. You're so late I was beginning to worry that you had gotten lost. I was thinking about going out to meet you if you hadn't arrived by sunset." The girl in the anachronistic apron smiles warmly. No, that's... I am so taken aback by her outdated mode of dress that I can't even form a proper sentence. Perhaps attributing my hesitance to distrust, the girl tilts her head a little. "You're Shiki-sama, aren't you?" Yeah, but you don't have to call me Sama." "You are, right?" "Oh, please don't scare me like that. I was beginning to think I had made another mistake back there." "Another mistake?" She gives a good-natured laugh. I have no basis for this, but she fits the image perfectly. Could it be that you're the girl who played together with us when we were small?" I inquire tentatively. She gives a full smile, looking truly happy. "Come, you must be tired, right? Please do come in. Akiha-sama is waiting for you in the sitting room." The girl quickly crosses the lobby and heads towards the sitting room. Turning back as if she had just remembered something, she makes a bow and a full smile on her face. "Welcome home, Shiki-sama." Her greeting is accompanied by her flower-like smile. I can't think of any reply, so I just follow her hesitantly. Guided by the girl, I head to the sitting room. It's as if I'm seeing it for the first time. I don't know if I've forgotten about it in the last 8 years, or if they had it refurbished since then. Either way, it feels like someone else's house now, and it's unsettling. As I'm looking around the sitting room, the maid in the apron lowers her head for a quick bow. "I've brought Shiki-sama with me." "Well done. You may return to the kitchen, Kohaku." "Thank you." It seems that the maid's name is Kohaku. Kohaku-san gives a small bow as if to say farewell, and leaves the sitting room. This leaves me and 2 girls I don't recognize. "It has been a long time, Nissan," says the girl with long black hair and sharp eyes. All my thought processes stop at once. My mind goes blank and I can't think of any words of greeting. All I can do is nod with a yeah. I don't think it can be helped. This Akiha I had not seen in 8 years is not the Akiha I remember. Since she's completely transformed into a proper young lady of a noble family. "Nissan?" The black-haired girl tilts her head slightly. Pathetically, all I can say is dumb-sounding things. Well, you don't normally do it pathetically, but you do normally just say dumb-sounding things, but oh well. My mind is turning in somersaults as I try to recognize the girl before me as Akiha, but it seems like Akiha already recognizes me as her brother. "Well, yeah, you do not look well. Would you like the rest of it before we talk?" Akiha throws a sharp glance in my direction. Is it just my imagination that she looks like she's in a bad mood? "No, I'm alright. I was just surprised at how much you've changed, Akiha." "People do change over the course of 8 years, Nissan. We are at an age of change, or did you think we'd remain like back then forever?" What is this? I can feel the thorns in Akiha's words. No, you've definitely changed, Akiha. That's what she just said. You've become more beautiful than before. That isn't flattery. It's how I really feel. And? Indeed. But you, on the other hand, have not changed much at all. Akiha answers coldly, her eyes closed. Well, I came prepared for something like this. It is as I had thought. It seems Akiha does not think well of me. If you are feeling well, let us finish our conversation. You have not yet to hear the details about why you were called back here, Nissan. I've heard nothing more than a sudden come back to the mansion, though I found in the papers that the old man had passed away. If the head of a major company dies, it definitely makes it into the financial papers. Word of Tono Makihisa's death reached his son, Tonoshiki, via the newspaper after the funeral. Even though his relatives hadn't told him, the disinherited son could pick up the news of his father's death merely by buying a 100 yen newspaper. It might be cynical of me to say so, but the world certainly has become a convenient place. I would be quite unhappy. I think I mentioned this last time this was mentioned, but I would be quite unhappy if I found out of a close family member's death, even if it wasn't someone that I liked. If I found out about their death from a news article or from a newspaper instead of, from police or other family members telling me, no, that would be very, very upsetting to me, no matter what. And upsetting in that I would be quite angry. I'm sorry. It was my fault that you did not get the news about Father. Akiha quietly lowers her head. It's alright. Either way, it's not like it would come back from the dead if I went. It's not something you should be worried about. I am sorry. It is somewhat comforting to hear you say that. Akiha's face is serious, but this is not a topic I care much about. A funeral is a ceremony for those who cannot detach their feelings for the deceased to achieve such detachment. For someone like me, who cut off such feelings a long time ago, there is no need. Calling you back here was my idea. It would be odd for the eldest son of the Tonos to be entrusted to the Arimas forever. Now that Father has passed, the only Tonos by blood are you and I, Nissan. I don't know what Father was thinking when he entrusted you to the Arimas, but he is no longer with us, so there is no longer any need for you to live with them. That is why I had you come back here. That's all well and good, but I'm surprised you were able to get our relatives to agree to this. Wasn't it they who came up with the idea of leaving me with the Arimas in the first place? That may be so, but I am the head of the Tono family. I declined every one of their proposals from our relatives. I would like you to continue living here, Nissan, but this is a place with rules. You will avoid living the overly casual lifestyle you've been leading up until now. I'm afraid that isn't going to happen, Akiha. There is no way I can go back to being someone as a well-mannered gentleman now. Not that I want to. I will not ask more of you, but do try to, or are you saying you are unable to do what I already have? Akiha shoots me a cold look. It feels like she's hitting me with her grudge against me for leaving her here the last 8 years. Alright, I get it. I'll try my best. Akiha just stares at me as if she doesn't quite believe me. You do not try. You do not need to try as long as you get results. Her pose is dignified, her words merciless. Let's get back to the topic. Right now, you and I are the only ones living here. I do not care to have too many people around, so I cleared everyone out. Hold on a second, Akiha. You cleared everyone out? You wouldn't want to run into one of our relatives in the mansion, would you, Nissan? I have put off most of the servants, but there are enough for you and I, so there are no problems. Wait, no problems? You're going to get attacked at our family meetings if you do something like that. Oh, please be quiet. Rather than have the mansion overflowing with people, wouldn't you feel more relaxed with just the two of us here? Well, it's true I would feel relaxed, but you've only just become the head of the family, Akiha. If you go around abusing powers like this, like some kind of dictator, our relatives are not going to keep quiet. Even the old man didn't go against their opinions. Indeed. That's why Father entrusted you to the Arimas. I, on the other hand, have despised them ever since I was a child. I am not going to put up with their whining any longer. Not going to put up with... Look, Akiha. Enough. Just listen. You don't have to worry about me. Please, just worry about your own life from now on, Nissan. I can see it's going to be difficult for you in many ways. Akiha says sullenly, looking away a little. Now then, if there's anything you don't understand, ask her. Hisui. She looks at the girl standing by her side. The girl, called Hisui, bows expressionlessly. This is Hisui. She will be your personal maid from now on. Is that acceptable? Personal maid? You mean... In other words, she's your servant. Akiha declares, as if it were obvious. I can't believe it. Fitting with the western style of the mansion, the girl in the maid outfit stands there as if it is natural to do so. Hold on. I'm not a kid, you know. I don't need a servant. I can take care of myself. Would that include cooking and the laundry? Akiha is pretty sharp at pointing out these things. I've done my laundry since I was like, God, how old would I have been? At least 10, if not younger. Pretty much since I was old enough to reach into the washing machine and dryer, just about. And I mean, I like cooking. I've at least been able to support myself cooking-wise with making food since I was in middle school, and God, and I've been able to cook well and things that I like and enjoy since high school. So, you know, that's not a real threat for me personally, but Shiki's useless, so, you know, what can you expect? At any rate, now that you've returned to this house, you will obey my directions. I don't know how you lived at the Arima's house, but you're living at the Hono house now. Please accept everything given to you. I can't say anything, and my eyes drift towards Hisui. As expected, she simply looks at me expressionlessly, like a doll. Well then, Hisui, please show Nissan to his room. Yes, milady. Hisui approaches me with a shadow-like lack of presence. I will guide you to your room, Shiki-sama. Hisui heads towards the lobby. Sighing, I head off towards the lobby too. We enter the lobby. The mansion is split into east and west wings with the lobby in the middle. The lobby is like the body of a bird whose wings are the halls extending diagonally to the east and west. Each wing is about the size of a small hospital. I remember the house is constructed symmetrically, and as so both the east wings and west wings have the same floor plan. Your room is this way, Shiki-sama. Hisui climbs up a flight of stairs. It seems like my room is on the second floor. Come to think of it, the servant's room should be on the first floor of the west wing, so that's probably where Hisui and Kohaku-san's rooms are. Outside, the sun has already set. The girl in the maid uniform walks down the long, dimly lit hallway without a word. It kind of feels like a wonderland. Sorry, I'm just looking at something very quickly. Without thinking, I let my thoughts slip out. Did you say something, Shiki-sama? Hisui stops and looks back at me. No, I'm just talking to myself. Don't worry about it. After staring at me, Hisui bows and starts walking again. Is this my room? Yes. If you are displeased with it, I can arrange a different one for you. No, there's no way I could ever be displeased with it. It's just a little, no, really too fancy for me. Shiki-sama, it's fine. I'll gladly use this room. Understood? This room has not been touched since 8 years ago, so I do not believe you will find anything unsatisfactory with it. There's something a little odd about the way Hisui said that. It's as if she was implying this was once my room. Hey, is this by any chance my old room? That is what I have been told. Am I mistaken? Hisui inclines her head to the side silently. I feel relieved. It seems this girl can express emotion after all. Well, it might be, now that you mention it. I do remember it faintly, so it must be. I can't feel any sense of familiarity about this place, but I guess that's what it's like after you leave a place for 8 years. I can't get settled here, though. I was living in a 6.5 mat-sized room until this morning. It's like I'm staying in some high-class hotel. I understand how you feel, but please try to get used to it. From today onwards, you are the eldest son of the Tono house, Shiki-sama. You're right. I've got to do my best, so I at least look like I have it out on so I at least look like it on the outside. With a thump, I drop my bag on the table and stretch my back. I've been feeling a little stressed out with everything that's happened so far, but I guess I've got no choice but to adjust from today onwards. Shiki-sama, all of your luggage has been brought here. Is there anything more you require? No, not really. Why do you ask? There was very little delivered. If there was anything you need, I can have it prepared, so please do not hesitate to ask. I see. No, I don't need anything more for now. I didn't have much luggage to begin with. My luggage is just this bag, these glasses, and the textbook in my bag, and that white ribbon with an unidentified owner. That's all. That's right. I haven't asked her the important thing yet. Can I ask you something, Hisui? Yes. What is it, Shiki-sama? Sorry if I'm mistaken about this, but you and Kohaku-san are sisters, right? For an instant, surprise flashes in Hisui's expressionless eyes. Yes, Kohaku is my older sister. Really? Great. Then that must mean you two must be the girls who once lived here. I'm so happy that I inadvertently raised my voice. In direct contrast to my joy, Hisui does not move. Hisui? You and Kohaku-san were the children taken in here, aren't you? We used to play together. I wonder if you remember. I close my mouth as soon as I speak. No. The girl I had played with was the bright and cheerful one. The one who just gazed at us with these cold eyes must have been... I played with your sister quite often. Hisui? Yes, I know. 2 years before you went to the Urima household, Makihisa-sama took in Nesan and I. Hisui speaks as if disinterested. It's good that I know Hisui and Kohaku-san are the twins from my memories, but it seems Hisui doesn't think much about it. I see. I didn't talk to you much. I'm sorry for getting so worked up. You have nothing to apologize for, Shiki-sama. I must also apologize for my rudeness to you for when I was younger. Hisui lowers her head. I feel really uneasy. I know Hisui doesn't mean to make me feel bad, but I don't know how to respond when a girl the same age as me says that to me. Do you have any other requests, Shiki-sama? No, nothing in particular. Very well. I shall call to you in an hour's time. Please relax until then. As expected, Hisui says everything with an expressionless face. By 1 hour later, she must mean dinner. But even if she tells me to relax, how would I do that here? The clock says it's around 6 o'clock. Usually, I'd be watching TV in the sitting room around this time, but I'm having serious doubts as to whether there's any such thing in this mansion. Hisui, I know it's kind of a trivial thing to ask, but is there a television in this mansion? A television? Hisui's eyes narrow slightly. I know I'm the one who asked, but it really is a stupid question. I feel like there's something wrong with asking about the presence of a TV in a luxurious mansion like this. Hisui makes a rare, troubled face and stares off into space. There is no television in the sitting room. Some of the visitors did make use of one, but when they departed, they packed it up with their luggage and took it back with them, so I do not believe there are any remaining. Hold on. Visitors? Like who? For how long? Relatives. The scene is longer than I remember it being. The eldest son of Kugumine-sama from a branch of the family, Tozaki-sama's third daughter and her fiancé, and Kishima-sama's eldest son came here to stay often for close to 3 years. 3 years, huh? Hisui, that's what you call freeloaders, not visitors. Hisui does not reply. No matter what kind of people these freeloaders were, it seems that servants can't say anything bad about them. Well, at any rate, it seems like those relatives had brought and taken back their own luggage with them. My old man hated the product of modern culture, thinking them all vulgar. There was no way he would ever watch a TV. Akiha, who had been educated by him for the last 8 years, would probably be the same. Well, it's not like I'll die without one. Hisui is silent. Like a perfect example for servants, Hisui says nothing unless she is being asked a direct question. This is, of course, kind of depressing for me. I want to make that expressionless face break into a smile somehow, but that seems impossible with just any old half-hearted effort. Oh, there was a library on the first floor of the West Wing, wasn't there? Maybe I'll go find something to read when I have some free time. Hisui does not reply. She just stands there in the doorway. I can't even tell where she's looking. Hisui doesn't say a word. Suddenly, she looks straight at me. I believe there is one in Nesan's room. Huh? I have no idea what she's talking about. There's one of what? A television. I remember seeing one in Nesan's room. Hisui says, as if remembering something from many years ago. I see. Kohaku-san does look like the type of person who'd watch those variety shows. But I balk at the idea of going to Kohaku-san's room to tell her, "Let me watch your TV." Sorry, just forget I ever asked. After all, I'll be living here from now on, so I've got to follow the rules of the mansion. God knows what sort of cynical content I'd be in for from Akiha if I'd started watching television. It seems I'll be leading a scholarly student life fit for a member of the Tono family from now on. Alright. I'll be in my room until dinner, so just come call me when it's time. You've got other things to do, don't you, Hisui? Hisui nods in assent and turns around. Silently opening the door, she leaves the room. Would I like to skip? Yes. And I'm going to save and stop here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was a long first episode, and, well, nothing new. We haven't reached the the far side routes yet, and we're not going to reach Hisui's route for, farther still, but we are slowly making our ways there, and that is what's important. So next time, we will finally get to spend some time with Kohaku. Well, I hope to see you all there.